The
It's all
dingy
right.
pub, he loves it. Loves the dingy pubs, don't you, Liam?
Mm.
Yeah, the absolute best. I love a rubbish pub. A rubbish
Right
good
then,
pub.
let's crack on then. Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to the channel for another episode in the series. This time, we're actually just going to be having a little bit of fun. This is a new concept, and we've decided to call it Will They, Won't They? Very straightforward concept. We're going to reel off some random questions, have a little bit of a natter whether we think they will go that way, won't go that way, will win this, won't win that, and just basically see how it goes. This may be part one of a part two. We're not sure because we're not really too sure how this episode is going to pan out for now. But anyway, enough of the waffle. We are recording this quite early on a Sunday. No, we're not. It's a Saturday, but that tells you how early this is.
I
Let's say hello
panicked
to the
then.
boys and
I panicked there as well. I thought it was Sunday myself.
try and bring me to life a bit. How you doing, James?
The bad on yourself?
Good, good, good. Liam, are you well?
I am, yes. Sat in the pub as I'm over with the missus's in-laws. So yeah, in a pub doing a podcast talking racing. Can't get much better than that, can it?
It sounds good. Does sound good. And thanks again for everyone that's tuning in. If you can click like and subscribe, it's completely free to do, and it just supports the channel a little bit, gets our content out there to a wider audience, and we appreciate every single one of you. Right, let's get straight into it then, shall we? Galopin Deschamps to win the Gold Cup, and I'm just going to open these up to the floor. Whoever wants to talk first can carry on. Jamie, you having some technical issues there, Jamie?
Yeah, there's something wrong here now.
Do you want me to
Oh,
stop it?
is it good? No, is it good now again? Can you hear me properly?
I can hear you properly.
Yeah. Just something happened there. I don't know. It just came up on the screen. Go on, swipe.
Yeah, you're
Well,
fine.
swipe.
Okay,
Yep.
right. I'm just going to open these up to the
What
floor.
happened
Like I
there?
said, we've got no structure really to this episode. We're just going to go through it and see how it goes. But at the end of every question, we must remember the game is will they or won't they? So let's not forget because we tend to rant on like I am now. Galopin Deschamps, will he win the Gold Cup? Can he regain that title for a third time?
I don't mind firing away with this one joke because he was the apple of my eye, even when I saw him on his beginner's chase.
Hmm.
I know it'd be difficult. I don't know what's possibly more difficult. I know the way you're thinking to retain it or for Galloping to regain it. Probably the form is slightly easier. I'm going to say yes, he will. I think it's very difficult for horses to go back to back. I think that obviously the current champion would be his biggest danger. And I think if Gallopin comes back and has still got the love for the game, I think he will go back and do a Quarto Star and be the second horse to only ever achieve it. So I'm going to say yes, he will.
Got no reason to suggest he doesn't love the game after what he did at Punchestown as well. I'm very much with you, Liam. I'm usually quite pessimistic about this sort of thing, but he is quite a freak, isn't he?
Mm.
Irish Gold Cups, Punchestown Gold Cups, Leopardstown, Cheltenham, wherever, can just do the lot, can't he? Jamie, you're not going to be as optimistic, I know, because this isn't a stat that you like, is it really?
Like,
'Cause he's not going to face many rivals, though, Jamie, is he? Like
yeah, but
genuine
look,
contenders.
fair enough. Fair enough. Last year, the Gold Cup was quick-ish round to put that way, Joe. But I don't like he's been to a lot of festivals. He's won a Martin Pipe, fell in the Turners, won two Gold Cups, second in the Gold Cup. I see six festival. I'm like, no, no, no.
Jamie, let me
Look,
throw this out there. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you, but how many horses have actually had the opportunity to regain? How many horses have even run in three Gold Cups, do you reckon? So if we looked at stats, I bet if you actually looked at the number of horses that have won it, lost it, and then had
Oh, no,
another go at
I
regaining it,
understand that
really.
part. I understand that part, Liam. I do. And stats and trends are there for a reason, and they're there to be broken, and they're there to stay, and whatever. I'm not 100% one of them people. I always haven't been. But I understand where you're coming from. But no, he's been to the wed. He's been in too many wars. The only reason he wins Leopardstown Gold Cups, I know it's like Hurricane Fly. He's mustered around there. But if you give a horse of his quality and his ability, the soft leads that he's been getting in Grade Ones in Ireland for years, he saw the Punchestown once. He got that soft lead. He's very hard to beat. But in fairness, in his two Gold Cup wins and last year, he hasn't been to the front. Do you know what I mean? He broke Braveman's heart game the first year. The second year he beat Jerry Clamp. But look at the times between both of them. He actually it was soft ground against Braveman's game. It was probably a little bit worse now against Jerry Clamp, I'm not going to lie. And last year he was just beaten by a quicker horse at the end because of the ground. Now, as I said before to you, that I know, go back and watch the Gold Cup. I know the way you're thinking didn't jump well and still want to beat Gallopin the Champ. And it'll always stick in the back of my head regardless of. And look at the way I know the way you're thinking when I came here. It was soft to heavy. It was pouring with rain that day, and he jumped like a stag. I mean, like, he's the up and comer. I think we all forgot at the time. I suppose hindsight is a good thing. Is that I suppose that he was supplemented for a reason. I know the way you're thinking, but there's a lot to come up. And like, there's a horse now that actually has come into my head, and I never liked him. But the ground is soft heavy. He comes into it like he Watson, Gaelic Warrior. I know the way you're thinking. I think he's a lot to beat this time compared to the last couple of previous years. I'm like, that Brave Man's Game year wasn't a good Gold Cup. Jerry Kalam has to come back as well. Will he be right? Will he be the same? I remember Gordon said that he's no penalty now for grade 2s and 3s. Slight alarm bells for me when I hear that. Unless you're building him up for a grade 1 later on the season, I understand that. But I take him on. He'll win grade 1s this year, Gallopin the Champ, because he gets soft leads. He'll obviously turn up in the dark and he won't win. But then he'll go to Leopardstown at Christmas. He'll go to.
That's interesting. He doesn't pass many horses, does he? Like you said, actually.
No. He needs to be in front. Now, I think what they're going to do in the Gold Cup to make it is
needs strong Jay, I reckon. That first Gold Cup when he was ridden cold, he was unbelievable with the way he travelled.
I know that, but was that a great Gold Cup? What have they done? What have they done behind him?
So what is it ultimately for you? Age, ground, or just what?
He's been in too many wars, in my opinion. He's been to the well too many times, and 6 times at Cheltenham. Look at Q Vega at her 6 mares.
You're right. You are right. Definitely.
Look at Q Vega at her 6 mares hurdle. I know she won 5 before it, but look at her 6. She barely got up. There's a lot of mileage on that clock. And look, he's been a fantastic horse. I've walked him in every Gold Cup he's won. I'm happy with that. But we've serious question marks, and I see a lot of people, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. Like, they're dismissing every horse that, like, Bear Gallopin the Champs. Come on, all let's try to wake up a small bit. He's definitely not the same horse, but I think what they're going to do in the Gold Cup Championship, I think they're just going to go out in front this time. And look, he is a hard horse to pass when he's front and he sets his own fractions, but Leopardstown, like, he gets soft leads. It's just me. I know he's mustard, he's hard to beat, he has that kick at the end of Leopardstown that he loves. But soft leads are soft leads, lads. And if you had someone take him on at Leopardstown and go way out in front, and see how good he is then.
Yeah, and to be fair, I made the point that, he went and won at Punchestown, but he did have a soft lead then as well. And he only took on 3 rivals: Spillans Tower, Monty's Pass, who hadn't been in great form. Banbridge obviously had won the King George, but he hadn't really done too much after then. So I suppose me fighting his case saying he went on and won at Punchestown, again, it goes to your point saying he had a easy lead. But look, I'm feeling optimistic about him. I really am, and I'm going to say that he will retain.
Oh, there was a stutter there.
Yeah, no, it could get retain or regain, but I think he will. Yeah, I'm gonna give him.
I'm definitely appealing to the romantic aspect of racing with regards to him going back and winning it. Jamie's made a decent case there, and I think hopefully it will be a brilliant renewal this year. But I suppose we'll find out in March, won't we?
Yeah, of course we will. Like I said, I'd usually be on Jamie's side with this sort of thing. To be honest, if I'm going to give one horse a chance to do it, it will be Galopin anyway. I'm not a massive fan of I Know the Way You Think. He's only won 3 of his 10 chase starts as well. Right, Factor File to run in and win the Ryanair. Open to the floor, boys.
Yes, he will. It's a race I don't particularly like. I think it needs removing from the festival. I think it takes away from the championship chase and the Gold Cup.
Wow.
He will be campaigned probably not too dissimilar to last season, but probably not lining up against Gallopin. They don't feel, I think, that they've got the beating of him. And JP, of course, has now got I Know the Way You're Thinking as a proper grade 1 stayer. It's a shame. We've seen some brilliant performances from this race, the likes of Allaho. And Factor File last year was obviously very impressive. But it just doesn't enthuse me, doesn't excite me, Joe. It's boring. Yes, he will line up there. He should be in the Gold Cup. They should be having a crack at it. But yeah, he will line up. God knows what will go off on the day, and he will more than likely win it. Yes, so I will say that he will.
Would you prefer that we had a Turner's novice chase and got rid of the Ryanair? So then you have to decide if you go to 2.5 as a novice, you then have to decide if you go champion chase or Gold Cup. Is that what you're saying? Rather than having an Arkle and a Browns, and then having three options the following year, reverse it almost, and then you force them to the one of the two.
Yes, yeah, it does. And then potentially you could then change the Brown advisory to the Gold Cup trip. I'm not sure if that's too much, too grueling for novices. There'll be people that can look at the data who are far more clever than I am, but maybe that would be an idea. But I think you would be leaving a little bit of doubt, Joe, as you suggest, if you had them at 2.5 and at 3. So, yeah, I think that would probably be a better format. Yeah, let's not get into the structure of Cheltenham. Probably a conversation for another day, but it needs shaking up.
Yeah,
But
we'll.
yeah, with regards to Factor Far, mate, yeah, I think he'll do it. Yeah.
Will he or won't he, Jamie?
Oh yeah, he's going to be a multiple Ryanair winner. I'm a bit worried though. What another horse is apparently going a 2 mile route, and now he could end up in the King George. And I think that's the only way they will ever go 3 miles with him. So they'll run him in the Durkin, and they'll go King George. It looking like it now, because if he doesn't, another horse, JP will have no runner in it. So it looks like Factor 5 could be going on there now. It doesn't matter because Mark Walsh is retained. He'll be a multiple winner. Getting back a quick point about that. Yeah, I would, because you've 3 options in novice hurdles. You should have 3 options in novice chases. The problem if you get rid of the Ryanair, I understand what you're saying. Problem is, you get rid of the Ryanair, most of those horses are in no man's land when it comes 2 miles and 3 miles will go to the milling chase at the
Yeah,
entry.
of course. Interesting.
And you have a problem then, because then there's like, I won't get into what happened with the BHA with the Pointer Ross rule because it's getting ridiculous. It's basically anti Willie Mullins now, but we won't get into that. But it's
Is that not just to touch on that, Jamie? Is it not a positive? It's making horses race more often.
It's a
We
negative.
need horses to run.
Listen to Ruby Walsh, what he said in Nick Luck's podcast yesterday. It makes total sense. I understand it is getting slightly boring about Willie Mullins dominating. I understand that, but it's getting ridiculous now. I mean, if I had a juvenile and
That's not stopping Willie Mullins, though. He had 7 of the runners last year.
That's what I'm saying. Look at if he didn't have the 11 runners, 6 runner time Pearl.
The reason this has come into play though is because Ante-Post backers were unhappy that they weren't aware that there was going to be an unraced horse, as what they've labelled him as, go to the Triumph Hurdle on his first. Hang on. But what people are missing, this is for me is a very important part, is that he had plenty of experience from running on the flat. It's not like he's seen a race course before. And if you want to look at it like that, well, he actually had more experience on a racetrack than Lulamba had. So I don't like penalising him because he's pulled off something that, in my opinion, is absolutely incredible.
And a certain jockey, and I mentioned names, we're not going to mention names of this podcast. Certain jockey, the way he came off like a little spoiled child afterwards, had a huge factor on it. I don't care what anyone says, but that's just me.
That's how I see it anyway.
Absolutely ridiculous. It's gone now from the Stateman rule to the Pioneer Ross rule. Like the Stateman rule is even worse because I mean, like how many this run, that run? What if an old fashioned? What if the horse you wanted is injured for the ages? For a horse, we owned a horse, and the 3 of us were here, and he was injured for ages and had one run, and he had the mark from previous years to get into a county, Carl Cup, or 10th, doesn't matter, right? And then because he didn't have 3 or 4 runs in the season, he can't run.
No, his career though, lifetime.
Bonkers. I know, but it's gone ridiculous. They're ruining our favorite festival, and that's the truth. And we move on quick because we're going to legend.
Right then, gents, Madgeborough will end up where? I'm just going to kick off and say this is the biggest danger that Marine National is going to have in his career, and it will come at March in Cheltenham when he has to take on Madgeborough unless they meet before. I think he's an absolute monster. People are just assuming his jumping is his jumping. Well, take a look at Gaelic Warrior. He couldn't jump straight for Toffee. Now he's a brilliant straight jumper. Look at Marine National. He missed his first season as a novice. He's had to play catcher. His jumping's got better. Horses do improve, and I think Madgeborough come March is going to be an animal. He will run in the champion chase for me.
I'm in agreement, Joe. Yeah, I think he will turn up in the champion chase, a race that JP McManus is still yet to win. He may have a couple of darts at it as well. A Jonbon is evidently going to start over 2 miles, it seems. So JP may go mob-handed into the race, and hopefully for him, he manages to actually win it. I agree with you. I think it will come down to potentially ground on the day. I don't think we'll see Madgeborough go in right-handed an awful lot this season. He really runs down his fences, doesn't he, and jumps out to his left. It was really pronounced at Punchestown. But yeah, I think he definitely goes champion chase, and he'll be the main dart for JP, as I say, to try and win the race that's eluded him for God knows how many years.
Monster of a horse, isn't he, Jane?
Yeah, he, like as you said, Joe, he's a massive danger to Marine National on soft heavy ground.
Mm-hmm.
On quicker ground, he's no chance. I think he has a real chance of beating Marine National. Exactly what you said. There's a few. It's actually, if you look back at it, it's actually, but it depends on Jonbon and Majbra and the whole lot where they're all going to go. I agree with Liam. I think they're going to start now Jonbon at 2 miles, and I think they'll move him up eventually because they know if Majbra is good in Ireland, they're not going to run both of them. I'd be shocked, but they might because they've factified for Ryanair, and I know you're already thinking for the Gold Cup. But yeah, he's a huge danger, but it's a deep enough division. It is still. I think you're going to see most of the same horses that were in it last year turn up again.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem with Marine National would be the soft heavy. But he's won on good soft in Cheltenham. Anyway. He likes Cheltenham, so he'll still be hard to beat. Like, but I've had a bit of each way, 41 with Quick Cilias. That's about it, really, in the champion chase. But it'll be a deep enough race that you couldn't call it again.
We've sort of covered a couple of other points, but I'll just chuck them out there anyway. So Marine to go back to back. Jamie, you pretty much said on good ground sort of thing, he's the one to beat.
On good ground, he's the one to beat. But on soft ground, soft to heavy. But I'll stress the heavy. I would take him on then, yeah.
Yeah, well, I even I agree. Majbra's still got to do what I'm expecting him to do this season and get there in March. But if that happens, I'm in agreement with you. I think ground is going to be massive. But the Cheltenham factor is huge for Marine. He's been there twice and hardly had a race, so he's going to go there with a big chance again. Liam, Marine for you. I don't think you're as keen to see him go back to back.
No, I would say that. Yeah, I think you both make really good case with regards to the ground. I think if it's deeper ground, the likes of Majbra would definitely stand a decent chance compared with Marine. I think good ground would be key to him. However, that said, seems though we're trying to be a bit definitive so many months out. Sadly, Joe, I'm going to say no, he doesn't go back to back.
It's more than okay, mate. Jonbon to go up in trip. I actually think he's going to stay in this champion chase division, lads. I think if he was going to go up in trip, they'd have done it a year or two ago, personally. So I think we're going to end up with 2 JP horses in the champion chase this year. It doesn't sound too unreasonable. We know he's desperate to sort of win these 2 mile chases. So yeah, I think he'll stay at 2 miles personally come March, because he's going to have to step him up before Kempton at Christmas if that's going to happen, surely. Jane?
I think if he gets beaten in the Slur chase and he gets beaten well, he'll move up in trip.
Do you think he'll come up against Caliph de Burley in the Slur, or
Caliph de Burley, Load of Stud and all him?
Oh yeah, Load of Stud, yeah, of course.
Hopefully he'll have front, But anyway, we'll see. I think if he gets beaten in the Slur, he'll move up in trip. He should be in the Ascot, that Amlin, what he's called, the Amlin chase before Christmas, Ascot over 2.5 miles. He still could end up in the Grade 1 in Ascot after Christmas. That's where I would put him. He's done it before, Nicky. Take no notice to Nicky yet. Take no notice to what he's saying. He's done it with Shishkin, started off in 2 miles. He'll start with Sergino. Lanamba doesn't make it ever. Lanamba, we'll get on to him. But he's done it before with Shishkin and all them. He started 2. Like, look, Shishkin ran in Single Creek, bombed out, and then ran in the 2.5 mile, or the following year. Do you know what I mean? Nicky knows what he's doing. I wouldn't take any notice yet. I said I prefer him to be in the King George because I think 3 miles on a flat track is what he needs now because he's getting on in age. But I'm like, it just makes no sense to say 2 miles when he ends up in a 2.5 mile entry every year. So you never know. At the moment, it's up in the air, but I think he will go up and trip. Yeah, I hope he does.
Yeah.
A real reluctance from Nicky, it seems, to put any of these horses up in trip. At the time when everybody else seems to be clambering for it. You had it with Altior, didn't we? We had it with Shishkin. And it all just seems it's a little too late when they eventually step up in trip, some of them. I agree with you, Joe. I think Jonbon will probably still clean up some of these, graded races in the early part of the season over 2 miles, and therefore he's more likely to stay in that division. You made a good point as well with the fact that if he's going to step up to the King George, for example, he's definitely going to have to step up in trip between there. I'm going to say that no, he won't go up in trip and he'll stay at the 2 mile division.
Interesting. Yeah, same as me, like Liam. I complete U-turn because at one point I was with Jamie and said, this is going up in trip, but I think I'll just stay at 2 miles personally now. Again, we've just got a long list, so trying to keep it in some form of order. Loda Sud, would he end up in a Grand Annual in March?
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
So
And it
it's
depends. And it depends who if he runs in all the grade ones, like unexpected party did and all them, and then drop his mark below 150. I can't see a horse beating him in the Grand Annual. Just
so,
Skelton knows how to win these things. Like, do you know what I mean?
did you think, Jamie, they'll chuck in him versus Khalif de Burle, same
Yeah.
ownership, and whichever
Mhm.
one comes out on top, the other one
Mhm.
goes a different route?
Yeah. And I think Caliph the Burley, to be honest with Liam, is unproven on an undulated track. He was all right at Cheltenham, I suppose, last year. I remember that all right.
I think Caliph will stick to the route Nichols has already mentioned.
Yeah,
Regardless,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like,
I don't think
I
it'll
suppose they're not
affect.
in the same trainer, are they? Or in
No,
different,
no,
yeah,
sure. I just don't.
same ownership.
I don't feel like. I don't feel like Paul Nichols and Harry Skelton would like to agree on something like that. I think look, Caliph de Burle is an interesting one. Is he on our list, gents, or am I just going off track?
no, he's not. No, no.
He's not on the list, but we're going to mention him anyway. He's the one for me that could just improve. Where Loderson, I feel like we've seen the best of him. I don't look at Loderson and go, "Oh, there's another 5-6 pounds from him." Caliph de Burle could be 10 pounds while in still, so I think he's the one that could, still do bits. And when Jamie mentioned Loderson for the Grand Annual, I thought, bingo, that's the one. It is. I'm fully on side with Jamie there. I think he's a Grand Annual horse. So yeah, I will say he will end up there, but that's just because Jamie sort of convinced me really. And you're saying what, Liam?
I think he will end up. No, I think he will still be competing at graded level. I think that's where Dan will campaign him. I think he will campaign differently this season as well. Last year, he wasn't particularly impressive, was he, at Warwick?
Kingmaker.
And I think he just had too many outings, to be perfectly honest. He beat that Rubo, didn't he? And yeah, he was he was paddling towards the finish. He came up the hill really well in the Arkle. He was travelling like he was going to be the winner for jumping 2 out. To my eye, anyway. So I think that he will not end up in the Grand Annual.
Okay, right. We move on. Ballyburn to revert to hurdles. I think we're probably unanimous here, gents, aren't we? That he's going to stay over hurdles. It's not the fact that he's Madgeborough and just exuberant and not really paying attention. It's just he cannot jump. He hasn't even got the right physical stature. He doesn't make the right shapes. He doesn't even make the right shapes over hurdles. So I think they've got to keep him in this hurdle division personally.
Yeah, and I think he's in no man's land like some of the winners from the Ballymore, the likes of Sir Gerhard, the likes of Bob Ollinger, who, when coming then out of novice company, they were just lost, really. Well, should they be going over fences? They were basically obstacle-less and tripless, and I
Yeah.
think that's the case for Ballyburn as well at the moment. I wouldn't have him on my radar for 3 mile races, but I definitely think that he will revert to Hurdling Joe yet.
Jamie?
Yeah, he's going to mop up on all those. Eventually, going to be like exactly before Bob Ollinger went back to the stairs. All those races, like the Rail Keel, you could see him at the Rail Keel on New Year's Day or something like that. In all those races, he doesn't stay 3 miles from either, even on the hurdles or chases. And to be honest with you, he's going to be a Patrick Mullins riding the stairs hurdle because Paul Townend's going to be on Jasmine DeVoe. So that's a negative straight away. If you think of him in a jockey book, I can guarantee you, Townend's definitely going to be on Jasmine DeVoe this far out. Regardless of if he has a bad day at the office jumping, because he just stays better than Ballyburn. But yeah, he's stairs hurdle. He's just going to end up in the stairs hurdle, but he'll be eventually back to those races there with like all those Bob Ottinger races, 2.5 mile races. Like he could end up in a Aintree hurdle, something like
that. Okay, interesting. Well, the next one is Jasmine DeVoe, hurdles or chasing.
that.
Again,
Hurdles, yeah. He's definitely a stairs hurdle and a right chance to
yeah.
beat. I think he'll go favourite today, Joe.
I agree, mate. I absolutely agree. I think he's one of these horses. Me and you, Jamie, we've got a big love for Ingles Griever. Again, he wasn't an amazing jumper. He wasn't an amazing jumper. But what these horses do, they stay. And Jasmine DeVoe's one of these horses, isn't he? That's just got these endless engines. So I agree. He will stay over hurdles and go towards the stairs. Liam?
I think that Jasmine DeVoe. Well, interestingly, somebody sent me a link to a interview that connections that had done. I'm not sure if it was Suede or whether it was Mania or whether it was somebody else connected. However, they were suggesting he was going to basically go over fences and they were going to school him over the course of the next week or so. and then a decision will be made. However, it had also been intimated a couple of weeks ago that he was definitely going to stay over hurdles, and I think he's as short as 5-1 now. I am hoping, praying. I was checking some of my Ante-Post bets. He's the only one that I've had, so I'm talking from my pocket, mate. But I hope that he is staying over hurdles. I think he'd take all the beating. I think he's one of the exceptional novices that can mix it in open company from last year. And I can't see him jumping a fence. He only just started to manage to jump a hurdle at the back in the springtime. So for me, he will stay over hurdles.
Yeah, love him, love him, love him. Dan Skelton to beat Mullins in the title race. I think it's a certainty this year. I don't think it's like previous.
I agree. Before I see Jamie shaking his head, basically a national. If somebody else wins the national, no matter who it is, it doesn't have to be Skelton to win it. Any other trainer wins the national. Willie Mullins doesn't win the title for the last 2 years. I know he'll go mob-handed. He'll have plenty of opportunities. He'll probably have the top 4 in the market. He had 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 home last year or something daft. But no, I agree. I think he's even stronger this year. I think he's got some really exciting younger horses as well, Dan Skelton. And yeah, Skelton's going to get his first one, in my opinion. So yes, he will beat Willie Mullins, mate.
Lumping on the 4-7 for Dan Skelton, are you, James, or are you taking the 3s for Mullins?
Still taking the 3 for Mullins, anyway. And I think this year, because the amount of ammo he has, I think he might see what he did a couple of years back when he had Ruby and he'd bring all those horses all to the greater races. He's too many horses to leave in Ireland now. So I think you could see him a lot over the pond this year. Like he's going to win the King George, isn't he?
I was just going to say he might actually win the King George this year as well. I agree.
Yeah. So, I can't see anything beating Factor Fighter or Gaelic Warren at King George.
Back to far won't come over, but he's not even a 3-miler. He won't stay.
I know, but if he does, it doesn't matter. Gaelic Warrior or Factor Fighter in the King George.
Joe, I'm going completely off topic, but I'm going to throw a quick will they, won't they out. Will or won't Willie Mullins have a satellite training setup in the UK in the next 5 years?
Oh, wow. I'll say he won't, but I'll say Patrick Mullins could.
Wow, yeah, that's exactly the line of thinking I was going down.
That would be brilliant. I'd welcome that. I'd love it. I'd love it. Dominate here as well. You already do.
What do you reckon, Jay?
I reckon I reckon because Ting likes Henderson and he likes Venetia Williams. I think Rich Ritchie, if he wants to stay in the game, he'll have something to do with them. Because I think Willie be gone in 2-3 years' time. Patrick will be taking over there.
You think that soon, do you? Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Sure, Willie's nearly 80 years of age for crying out loud.
I mean, what to achieve?
Yeah, so he's done everything. I think Patrick will take over, but I agree. I think he will have some sort of a yard with Venetia or something like that, and Rich Ritchie will approve it, and he'll have most of the horses over in the UK when it comes to Rich Ritchie. Yeah. That's just something in my head that's always kind of stuck to me. That I agree that will happen eventually. Yeah.
Let's hope racing's still around.
Yeah, well, I hope that the BHA don't ruin us, and you'll all be over here. Joe, the land of the champions of Ireland. You know what I
mean? Yeah, sure. Come on over. Where were we there, gents? Let's go on to Lossiemouth to the champion hurdle. Not on God's green earth does she end up in the champion hurdle this year.
No, I don't think she's a 2-miler either. I think she'll be taken off her feet.
Some people are reluctant to change their mind on certain things, I notice as well. Some people that want her in the champion hurdle are just going to say, yeah, she will. But why would they take the best mare out of the mare's division and risk giving it to someone else? It's like, why do that? Same with Factor File. Why would you take clearly the best horse over that trip out of the race that he's clearly the best at and try win it with a different horse that you don't know? It's like,
and I suppose I'm being hypocritical here. I should be slating the fact that the mare's hurdle needs scrapping so that all these superstar mares end up in the champion hurdle.
That's another conversation.
That's another conversation. But yeah, I don't think there's any chance that she turns up in a champion hurdle. State Man, Amsterdam's an exciting one for Willie. Yeah, I think they'll just continue down the mare's path, and as long as she stays fit and well and sound, she'll keep mopping them up and winning them impressively. As Jamie mentioned, not too dissimilar to how Quavega did years ago for Mullins. So she won't get the champion hurdle for me, mate.
Jamie?
No. The only way, as I said to you before, the only way you get her out of a champion hurdle penalise her in a mare's race and downgrade the race. It's the only way it's going to happen in the future. I'm like, if you win a grade 1 as a mare, you should have a £7 penalty at the minimum. I'd even put it at £10 to the next horse to get rid of him out of the race. And that's the only way you're going to do it. They're not going to do it, though. Willie Mullins, I think, has too much firepower. He's for the champion hurdle next year. So I don't think he doesn't mind. I think you're right, Liam. The campaigner last year tried to make it. But the problem, what I have, and quick note on that, she'll run it now in Hatton's Grace. And I didn't like what Gordon said the last day about Tupu might not turn up there. Tupu will probably go to the 3 miler at Christmas. That means they know they can't beat Lossiemouth. So, yeah, I think it'll be Lossiemouth will go. Do you know what? They might try. They'll go Hatton's Race. They might try over 2 miles of Christmas at Leopardstown because it's not the inside track. Or it is. Sorry, it is. Sorry, that's what Brighter said. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Dublin Race Festival. Might, because to be honest with you, where does she go? Like, what? She goes to the Red Keel at New Year's Day. It's a grade 2. You know, I like. What are the races for her over 2.5 miles? It's Hatton's Grace. There's no open 2.5 in the UK. Like, Red Keel at Cheltenham, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's her campaign, unless she goes back, reverse back to 2 miles at Christmas. So, or the DRF. So, like, Richie pays the bills, doesn't he? So, whatever he wants. But I'd like to see her actually, if the way she wins over 2.5 miles, try her up at 3.
I agree, Jamie. I'd like to see her.
Yeah. Because she has the speed to win a Triumph, Stair, 2.5 miles. She looks like she gets better the further she goes. So,
she travels so
supremely well over the longer trip. I'd love to see it. I don't think Mr. Ritchie will ever try it again because of what happened to Any Power. But you never know.
Constitution Hill to win any grade 1 this season. I'm just
no. What? I'm going to say he will. I'm going to say that
Christmas Hurl is the only one he can win, I think. Yeah, that's about it.
Wow, that's the one I'm thinking. Yeah, I wonder. It's very much going to be dependent on what happens in the fight in 5th. If they both line up there, and hopefully they do. Let's have competitive clashes throughout the season, please. All trainers, send them everywhere. Let's see these clashes. But yeah, I'm going to say that he is going to win one. Yeah,
I'll say he won't, but I want him to.
Jamie? I'd say he won't either. No, I think he's done. But from the video I saw the last day, I think he'll end up in an Arca.
Interesting. Okay. What else have we got here? Try and find some interesting ones. There we go. Will Sergino run this season? We already know he's not going to be seen this side of Christmas. That to me is the huge worry, because if you know you're not seeing this horse until after Christmas, and we're in September, October, November, December, that's 4 months. You at least feel he needs 4 months of recovery before you even get him back to a training program. We might then not see him until Trials Day at the end of January. Just come on now.
Yeah.
It's not good news, is it?
You're not going to see him to the Gain Spirit at Newbury. And then he'll win. And he'll win impressively. And then he'll bounce at Cheltenham. It happens every year. Happens all the time when it comes to horse racing. You think he's back. He's probably going to be Mickey Mouse 4 or 5 runner race, and he'll win, and then he'll back in the championship at a stupid price, and he'll bomb out. But I don't think you'll ever see him again. That's just my opinion. And it's a sad thing to say, because I think this was the next coming. Yeah. Really was. But look, that's racing on life, unfortunately.
I couldn't have put it better myself. I'm in complete agreement with absolutely everything Jamie said.
Perfect. Right. Will Nichols win any grade 1s? Yes, of course he will.
Is that Cheltenham, though?
Nope. The question is, will Nichols win any grade 1s?
None.
Khalif de Burley is going to beat. He's going to smoke.
I'm not disagreeing with you. He has a right chance in a grade 1. But now if Jonbon comes back to Tingle Creek, he's no chance.
Liam?
Yes, I think he'll win one. Yeah, definitely throughout the season. He'll manage to notch one up. He's got Caldwell Potter as well, who in some of these weeks...
I forgot about him. He probably been the Ascot Chase now. I'm thinking about
Victoria.
There's no Jonbon. Yeah.
Regent Stroll, Liam, as well.
Regent Stroll, yeah, absolutely.
Honesty policy. That's some good.
A couple of novice chases, couldn't he? Grade 1s.
Got plenty of stick about that, but he's a very good horse. He was second to Honesty Policy. That's big form, that is, considering Honesty Policy had Jasmine DeVoe to a neck or a head or whatever it was. What shall we do next? The New Lion 4-1 for the champion hurdle? Question mark. That's what we've written down. We'll go with, is this a good price or is this a bad price? That's what we'll go with here because we haven't quite.
Shocking price at the moment. And this is the problem after you've kind of evaded there earlier, Joe, about when we said about, we went off in tangents about the Pointer Rust rule and about anti-post betting is gone. Half gone. Three quarters gone. You can still find a few gems, but you can't find the amount of gems you could years ago. A horse runs in a maiden hurdle now, it's favourite. Or second favourite. Look at Brighter Days Ahead. Gardnerelli opened the mouth. Oh, she's going to chase him in 20s to 7s.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Silks
That's
matter
insanity.
as well now. Silks matter.
Yeah, silks matter. Trainer matters. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Do I think 4-1? No, I said it back to the 10s. I'll make 1 point and I'll leave it at that. I think he is a 2-miler. Will be a 2-miler, right? But you have to remember, I understand, right? Look, you have to look at the race. I always think that is the best race of the whole year. Yellow Clay is the right fence on the stairs hurdle. Final Man looks like a banker for Browns, right?
If he jumps.
If he jumps. That it's all ifs and buts, and you know the Yellow Clay will stay in the stairs. That's fair enough. But if the race was over 2 miles, or 2 miles and a bit, or 1, whatever, he'd have beaten Final the Man and Yellow Clay even further. And people are forgetting that. If that was a 2 mile 1 race, he'd have beaten them by 10 lengths. He just outstayed. He had the speed to beat 2 stairs. And that's where people are getting kind of carried away that he's just a stair. He's not a stair. He looks all speed. And like most of the races last year in the UK, Chepstow, at Newbury and Challow, they were sprints. He beat Wendigo stayed on in the Challow because it's a stair. He won the race because they went to Craw and he sprinted home. He looks to me all out and out to Myra. Now, he has to go against Constitutional, obviously, in the fighting fifth. It's a different, quicker track, which is what he's made of. I understand that, but I wouldn't give up hope straight away because he loses on a flat track to Constitutional, where one of his most impressive performances ever was in the fighting fifth. So I wouldn't worry about that. But it'd be good to gauge him. But I think Constitutional is finished unless he goes chasing.
With regards to hit the price 4-1, is it a good price? Is it a bad price? I struggle to find anything or back anything or tip anything at 4-1 in the week, Joe. Never mind something that's in March.
Fair point.
So it's definitely a bad price from my perspective. But yeah, it'd be really interesting once they get there. I wouldn't be parting my money. He's the same price as Sergino. So if you look at it from that perspective, he's probably a good price because Sergino's more than likely, God knows what price you'd make him to get there. Yeah, I won't back him. I don't think he's a good price. Hopefully, again, all these turn up and clash, and Constitution Hill comes back to his best, and we'll have a cracking 2-mile division this side of the water this season.
Yeah, it's interesting when we mention price there as well, because it is very different anti-post betting these days. Me and Jamie have mentioned this so many times that after Best Mate won his first Gold Cup, he was 20-1 to win the following year. When he won his second, he was 25-1 to win it a third time. You wouldn't see that now. About I know the way you're thinking. And Galopan, you could actually use the liquidity that they were offering you until it was gone, and then it's disappeared. But at the end of the day, it's different now. You've got to deal with it and just find yourself winners. You can find yourself as much value as you want. We need winners to make it count at the end of the day. The new line for me, gents, he looks like a champion hurdler. He's a slick jumper like a champion hurdler. For me, he is not a 2-miler. And last year, I labelled him as a horse to follow when he hadn't even jumped a hurdle. So it was great to see him progress, and I was a big fan of his. For me, he is not a 2-miler at all. He was off the bridle turning for home before he found that turn of foot in the turners, and that's a massive worry for me. I'd like to see a champion hurdle winner cruising on the bridle. Me and Jamie probably just have different opinions here, and at the end of the day, one of us is going to be right and one of us is going to be wrong. So for me, it's not good enough at the moment. I still think State Man sets the standard because I don't think Con's going to come back. I don't at the moment think William Money's going to be good enough. Same with the new Lion. So no, for me, the 4-1's a dreadful price. I want winners. I don't think he's going to win the race. Arkle, Copeg the board versus Lulamba versus Romeo Coolio. First of all, are we going to get that race? Second of all, who's coming out on top if we do?
Kopek, Romeo Coolio, Final Demand, did you say, Joe?
Lulamba.
I think Lulamba will go up in trip. I think he's more likely to end up at Aintree. He's entered over in France, isn't he? For some
Yeah.
sort of a hurdle race, and somebody pointed out on social media that it was worth more than the Arkle.
Exactly, yeah.
Some sort of thing in
No-brainer,
France.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Weaker opposition as well.
Yeah, madness. Anyway, again, another subject for another day. But
yeah,
we may. I don't think we'll see Lalamba. We might see Lalamba turn up. I think it was mentioned that he would start off down the same route as Sergino last season. Someone scored in the football.
Is that Liverpool or Everton?
Liverpool 2-0.
Oh god.
So yeah, but I don't think we'll see all three clash at any point now. I think Kopech will probably take all the beating of the three of them. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I think Romeo Coolio. I know you spoke to Gordon, Joe. Is the plan to keep him at 2 for the time being? Obviously, he looks like he'd stay further.
Yeah, plans to start him at 2 and then decide from there. It sounds like Gordon wants to go 2 miles. And I think the KTDA guys might prefer going up in trip, which is I think would be the right thing to do, because I think this is where we're going to see the best of Romeo Coolio. I'd love him at 3 miles. I think he'd be bloody hard to beat, to be honest with you, when you look at sort of what's around him, you know. Lulamba, though, I think he's going to stay over hurdles myself. I don't even think he's going to jump a fence. Jamie?
Isn't this the case now of the three of them? This would be some race if it was a 2.5 mile race. They're crying out for the 2.5, the three of them, to be honest with you. Quickly, I'll go through it. I think if you want to see Kopech to board out his best, he needs soft ground. Look at the way he wanted the DRF. He struggled to get home in the Supreme and was nearly caught by William Money. Romeo Coolio.
Does he look like a stayer, Kopech, by the way?
He does, I think, but I think he needs soft ground to stay at an Arkle trip. That's just me. Lalamba could end up in the 3 miler. I think he's just out and out there. That's just me. Romeo Coolio would be the one I prefer out of the three of them at the moment. And my reasoning was because the way he won his point to point. I think the way to look at Romeo Coolio, the way he jumps a hurdle, he gave it plenty of air. And I think he's going to be tailor-made a better chaser. Look, Kopech's a massive horse. You have to forgive the run of punches down. They both like soft ground, right? So does Lamtis. They all do. But I think Romeo Coolio could step ahead because he could be a better jumper, and I think his asset will be he's jumping. So for me, with Romeo Coolio, I think that what they'll do is they did it over hurdles in the Grade 1 last year, Christmas. Bomb him out in front, use his jumping as an asset, and he'd be hard to peg back.
Yeah, I love that. I love the love for Romeo. Big fan, big fan. Liam? Oh, wait, you basically said that already. My apologies. I was listening, by the way. Just forgot. Dino Blue to win back-to-back mares chases. This is, again, I'm a massive fan of the Big Westerner, but she's going to need a bog over 2.5, so she might end up actually going to the Browns the more I think about it. Jamie's put me onto one though last season. I couldn't have her all season, but she did just get better and better. That horse, Jamie, is.
Oh, you do have to wait for Spindleberry anyway to see if she wins left-handed, because she's never won left-handed.
Interesting. Okay.
If she does go left-handed on soft to heavy ground, nothing will beat her. Nothing will beat her. She's won a Grade 1 over. No, look, that was a soft enough Grade 1. Not being smart at Ferryhouse this year against the boys. But it was soft to heavy ground. She needs soft to heavy ground to be seen her the best. She was beaten by what was the name of that? Jay DeCrugy. Spindleberry was beaten by Jay DeCrugy in the 2.5 mile Mayor's Novice Grade 1 at Ferryhouse. Sorry,
that was over hurdles though, wasn't it?
That was over hurdles.
Yeah.
But the only reason Spindleberry got close to Jay DeCrugy because it was soft to heavy ground that day. It was a bog. It was the same at Ferryhouse. She needs a bog. It'll actually be a decent race. I think Brighter Days Ahead will turn up here. She's not a 2 miler. But she's not a Cheltenham horse either. Put it that way, Joe. So, I mean, if you look at it, experience-wise, I know Blue, but it's hard to keep going as a mare. And that's always me. But she has kept going. She's been in a lot of races, to be honest with you. Tough division.
Wow, hasn't she? Limerick Lakes, that was the year before. That was a...
Yeah. Tough division. There could be a mare come out of anywhere. But Spindleberry, if I saw her left-handed and she can handle going left-handed, she'll be a hard horse to beat on soft heavy ground. Yeah. But yeah, it's an open division, so it's like Dino Blue could win again. Do you know what I mean?
Do you reckon we'll see Dino Blue in like the Hilly Way and
all them races? Yeah, all those kind of ones, and then just Target for one day of the year, really, to be honest with
Yeah, yeah. Liam, much to say on this one?
you.
Did Only by Night beat Fun round Exeter
Yeah.
over 2-4?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if her stamina starts to improve. Obviously, as she ages, she was really impressive in the Arc. Or
Yeah,
another
good
one,
point.
I know I've mentioned it about Load of Sud, but she was travelling really well.
Hmm.
If she gets that trip, obviously has won. I think she was all out, to be honest, to get home, and she wasn't overly impressive at Exeter over the intermediate trip. But if she was to improve, from a stamina perspective, she'd be really interesting. I'm going to say that Dino Blue will not. I don't think we see many mares coming back to this race and then winning it. It's pretty infrequent since this race has been introduced to the festival. So I'm going to say no, there was something else that beats her, Joe.
Yeah, interesting, mate. Interesting what you say there about the mayor as well, because you say about her going up in trip and she was all out sort of thing in a couple of races and she had a hard race in the Arkle, but probably only looked that way because she had to find speed that she may not have. She might already be full of stamina, and like you said, it might be a case that when she just goes up in trip a little bit, we may just see her even better. I quite like the idea of that because it happens with a lot of Gowdins, like when they start at two and then they get better as they sort of go up. So it wouldn't be a surprise at all. I like that angle, to be honest. What else have we got here? Final demand, banker or blow up for the Browns. Simple case for me. Got the biggest engine. Just depends if he can jump a fence, which he could with a point-to-point fence. Got no reason to believe otherwise. Now, I suppose.
I completely agree. I think again he'd be too short for me. And come the day, well, I suppose depending on what he's done throughout the season, I'm more than likely try and be take him on, whether he's even money or 1 to 100, but always trying to get the short prices beat. But he does look very good. I suppose difficult to tell at this point, as you mentioned, Joe, without seeing him jump a fence. But rather than me sitting on the fence, I am going to say banker.
Interesting. Okay. Just sort of having a look at here as well. Some of the past winners of the race. You know, we've had oh wait, I've got the no, I've got the Browns there. Yeah, we had Lecky, we've had like the Real Whacker, Lompresse, Monkfish, plenty of favourites sort of beaten in the race as well, haven't they? And you know, we
2 secs, lads. 2 secs.
yeah, no worries. You know, we thought Ballyburn last year was going to be well, we didn't actually think he was going to be unbeatable, but everyone thought going into that race he had the biggest engine, and that's what everyone ultimately came down on. But he got
Yeah.
beaten. It could be the
Jerry
case.
Kalam was obviously very unlucky,
Yeah,
weren't he?
yeah,
Just couldn't quite get up to the real whacker. I suppose the further you go, Joe, and the more obstacles there are to jump, the more jeopardy there is, and
of course,
the more inclined you'd be to take on the short prices because there's so much more that can go wrong, can happen,
sure.
isn't there? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he takes defences.
Loads of them beaten as well, sort of thing. I don't know who went off favourite, but like again here, like you look at like Monkfish presenting Percy did go off favourite actually, didn't he? I remember that. Black Lion, top of the game. It's not often we have these that we're just we're saying, well, there's the best horse, he wins, and well,
Yeah,
maybe I'm not going to nail my hat down too early, but I do
I was
agree with you ultimately.
I was going to say, Joe, I was looking at this race and the Turners just to see what graded horses have done in open company. So
Yeah,
how have novices actually performed? So from the Turners, there's 30 horses over the last 10 years. And collectively, they've won 36 open grade one. Sorry, yes, I've won 36 graded races. So
okay.
those that finished first, second, and third in the last 10 years between them, 30 horses have averaged one graded win between them.
One
And
each.
it's almost, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
that includes hurdle races, races in France, grade
Everything.
1, 2, and 3. So it's very hard to make the transition into open company,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the same applies for the RSA as well. It's exactly the same. It's 36 winners plus
Yeah.
one more. So yeah, it's obviously tough for them to come out of this. And when people start then crowning them the future Gold Cup winners,
Not so
steady on.
sure. Yeah, because there's none in that list, are there? For a long time back as well of previous Browns winners. So
No, a fair few have come from the race. It's just those that either haven't completed or actually beaten. Manila Indo was beat, of course,
of
by
course, yeah,
Champ.
yeah.
You had Albin Photo, who came down and then obviously became dual Gold Cup winner. You've had Jerry Kalam and Lahon Press who've gone on to placing Gold Cups. So the race isn't actually a terrible trial when you start looking at it. But yeah, in terms of number of winners, I think it's Denman the last Oh no, it'll be Lord Windermere, Bobsworth, and then Denman before that. I think it's over a decade since the winners then gone on to win the Gold Cup. Maybe you can check, mate.
It's interesting how it all changes. Yeah, I've just got the list there. You are right. The last one, because again, you got Mike Bite, but he was chinned by. Well, I got beat by Native River. Lord Windermere, 2013. You do have to go back a fair way to find that. I was going to say something that's just gone from my mind, so I've been sat here like this trying to remember. I can't think of what it was. Right, Liam, we'll crack on. We'll do a few more whilst Jamie is just doing something. Does an Irish trained horse win the Ultima? Look, this is something that's going to go on for a long time, but they are placing in a fair few of them as well. Is it just the fact that it's just by chance they haven't? I mean, nothing was going to beat Meartown in hindsight now, obviously knowing the mark he had going into the race, but you've had like good runs like Fast or Slow went close. You've had like the Goffers run good races in it, and I mean, I don't really mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Honest,
As long as you're on the winner, you don't really
exactly.
care,
Yeah. We'll leave that one, Liam. Jaguar, handicapper or graded horse? I'm hoping he's going to be a graded horse because he's one of my 5 to follow in our other video, of course.
Yeah, I'd be in agreement with you, mate. I think he can definitely step up to Grady Company. Be interesting to see if he does go the Paddy Power. Obviously, we've had conflicting reports.
Yeah.
A couple of lads in my Telegram actually happened to bump into one of the training duo. I think it was at Utoxeter, and they said they definitely wouldn't go to the Paddy Power. But of course, plans change. That's how we all know that. Gaelic Warrior was going for about 17 different races of the 28 at the Cheltenham Festival 2 years ago. So,
exactly.
So yeah, whether he takes in the Paddy Power Gold Cup or goes to the old Rome, which I think's now been downgraded to a grade 2, has it? Be interesting to see him line up there. But yes, I think he can make that progression to be a graded horse.
Jamie, we just said like Jaguar for Greenland Guerrero. Nice horse, handicapper or graded horse is the question, effectively.
I think it's in what the Guerrero Greenall said that they're going to handicap and then produce him as a grade 1 horse eventually.
Has to win that first race, really, though, now, doesn't he?
He has to win the Paddy Power Gold Cup now. Yeah?
If you win second, if you finish second, it's such a hard race to go and win first time. And if you finish second, what are you doing then? You're going to go. Oh,
what's his mark? Like what's stage tower when the year I was there, which was about 1.554 something like that. It's a hard race to win off that, but it doesn't mean that even if you win it, like Stage Tower has done, doesn't mean you're going to go on to be a grade 1 horse.
No, sure.
You know what I mean? Because such the standard is so high. Years ago, you'd say, yeah. Remember, like there was always horses in the high 140s, low 150s running this race, and the handicap was tight. It is still as tight, but it's just the domination. No offense to the Irish, they have so many horses in the division. To get to the ceiling that you need to be a 170 horse to win a Ryanair. Do you know what I mean? Like a 2.5 mile or the patio. But the problem is, Joe, you know yourself, slightly tangent, and I'll say it straight away. There's too many 2.5 mile races at Cheltenham. Handicap. 2.5 mile handicap. There's one at every single meeting, and they need to look at that. Like, it's the same horses running around against each other all the time. It's not a good spectacle after a while. Paddy Power Gold Cup should be your number one thing at the start of the season. Do you know what I mean? And leave it at that end. Get rid of the one at December. No, maybe not really get rid of December. Maybe move that to New Year's Day, something like that. December Gold Cup, in a way, because then there's more of a gap. It's 2 different tracks, but it's the same race in December. It's the same race New Year's Day. There's another one on Trials Day. They need to do something about that. Like it's getting
October, isn't it? It's October, November, December,
and kind of make it a way where they have to get rid of that and make it the 2.5 novice handicap chase, and make it like you're in if you win kind of a thing. Do you know what I mean, for the festival? Because that 2.5 novice handicap is here to stay, unfortunately. Now, it was a great race years ago, but they've taken away the grade 1 for it, which is wrong.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get any more changes for this year.
I think we will.
Joe, do we want to do perhaps one more, and then I can go and watch Northern Express bolt up in the first air?
Yeah, well, I was at that point now, to be honest.
Perfect.
I reckon we'll leave it there. In fact, say lads, because again, this is something new. Thanks everyone again. If you're still tuned in, this is the first time we've done this sort of concept. Thank you very much. If you want a part 2, let us know in the comments. I think that's the best way to go about this, rather than us finding some and maybe not being good. Maybe you liked this episode, maybe you didn't. Some a bit different to usual. But anyway, it was a bit of fun for us. Don't forget to check out our stable tours. We've got Gordon Elliott, Sean Bowen, all the rest of it. More coming this week, more jockeys, content on French horses, point to point is all coming up in the next week or so as well. Anything else to add, gents, or is that everything for the time being?
See you in a while.
That's everything for the time being from Liam, even though he didn't realise he's on mute then, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We knew what you said anyway, mate, so it's all good. Right, everyone, thanks so much. Enjoy your Saturdays or whenever you're watching this. It's probably going to go up in Saturday evening, isn't it? So you're probably going to miss all of the football or you've watched it, blah, blah, blah. But we're off to enjoy our Saturday of sport. I hope you do too. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all real soon.